Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. Hopkins County Sheriff investigators and the sheriff himself, along with deputies and a number of trusted inmates, traveled to Canton and Emory Saturday evening after tornadoes ripped through the Van Zandt and Rains County area. They were involved in immediate cleanup and rescue. The sheriff took chainsaws and other equipment to assist the neighbors to the south. They spent several hours immediately following the destruction left in the wake of the tornadoes. According to Lieutenant Tanner Crump, Hopkins County officials will return to one or both counties when the proper requests for assistance have been received. Hopkins County Courthouse was one of 216 Encore customers in Hopkins County that were without electrical power Saturday evening following severe thunderstorms and a tornado warning. The courthouse flooded for the first time since underground pumps and a generator were employed to keep the basement dry. Heavy rains, the first issue. The generator not starting when electrical power was down, the second issue. According to County Judge Robert Newsom, the generator was started the week before to ensure it was in working order. He called the fact the generator didn't start surprise to all of us.
First time we've had a flood like this in a long, long time. The big storm came in, I guess, Saturday night, and the electricity went off for some time, and the generator apparently didn't kick off. And we don't understand why, because we actually test that generator every week, and so we were surprised as anybody. But that's the first time it's flooded. It wasn't anything like I remember in the old days. I remember having 6 inches or more flooding on a big rain like this regularly. But you know, we had 7 inches a few weeks ago and no problems. And so the pumps didn't come on under the courthouse. And when the pumps don't come on, it's got to go somewhere. So it flooded parts, and we lost some papers that were on the floor. Somebody had put some papers on the floor. But other than that, no destruction or anything like that. It's just aggravating. And we've had Lee Glenn and the inmates have been over here cleaning already this morning.
The area that was affected?
Just the basement.
Just the basement.
Yeah.
So that would be the tax office and auditors?
Actually, the auditor and the court administration and the treasurer. They received most of the impact.
According to Sulphur Springs Police Chief Jay Sanders, 2 emergency warning sirens in the city of Sulphur Springs failed to sound Saturday evening when an imminent warning for a tornado was issued. Both had been struck by lightning before the warning was issued. Also during the siren sounding, a 3rd siren was struck by lightning and was disabled. Chief Sanders stated that the Emergency Operations Center was officially opened at 4:30 p.m. as members of the EEOC watched the progress of tornadoes from Canton, Emory, and other locations that had potential to affect the city. The center remained open until all severe weather had moved out of the area. Sirens on Calvert Street and at the corner of Church and Bonner Streets were struck prior to the warning. Chief Sanders stated that thanks to the redundancy of sirens in the city, no part of the city was without warning. The siren at the corner of Bonner and Church Street is located on city property at Fire Station 1. The siren located on College Street at Lake Highlands Baptist Church was sounding when disabled by a lightning strike. Chief Sanders said all 3 sirens should be repaired by the end of the day and prior to the possibility of severe weather in the area expected Wednesday. With several counties having difficulty receiving funds from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, Hopkins County has employed former Commissioner for Precinct 1, Beth Weisenbaker, to assist with getting the paperwork satisfactory through the FEMA process, according to County Judge Robert Newsom.
Beth Weisenbaker has been employed by the county to go ahead and help us get the paperwork through to FEMA. A lot of counties are having such serious problem about not getting the paperwork done satisfactorily to FEMA, and they're not getting any money. So Beth retired, but a few weeks ago we hired her back here, and she has been helping us to get the paperwork done so we can get that money rolling back in at Hopkins County, because we've already done the work. We need the money back in Hopkins County.
Hiring her frees commissioners up to do their work, and you also do your work.
Right. Yeah, but really the commissioners are working on the roads and all the other things that they do as well. And then, of course, I've got my regular duties. So we've given her a little place next door to my office, and she comes when she doesn't work every day. She works just kind of keep it going so that we can get that money coming back.
Okay, if you notice, you've got 2 paper clips. One's 4223, which is the spring event, and the other one is 4255, which is the winter event. And I've separated them out like that. I've got your projects listed by precinct, and if they're complete, they say complete. And so the ones that have nothing written beside them, those are the ones that y'all need to focus on. Now, 4223, the spring event, if you have a small project, you need to definitely be through with it. You can finish it May the 28th, and I can still process the paperwork, but you definitely need to be through with small projects by May the 28th. The big projects on 4223, we're going to have to ask for an extension. And I have talked to her about this. I've talked to Congressman Ratcliffe's office about this, and I don't believe there's going to be any problems at all because of the weather events that we have had and the availability of materials. But that is to bring you guys up to date. We'll request the extension in the middle of May, just as soon as they open the doorways for it. So that pretty much takes care of 4223. Danny, you're totally, completely done with both events. And I sent another request. I know it. You've got your small project monies, but you've got that, I think it's $180,000 sitting out there. And I texted her again this morning and asked her where it is. Last time I heard, 2 weeks out. So kind of like remodeling.
That was 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
4 weeks ago.
What I'm going to do with this chart, I'm going to go in and put another column, and I'm going to check with Shannon. And when stuff is paid for, I'm going to put out there that the check has been received, and this is how much we get. So that way, I'm going to start giving these probably, I don't know, we'll just see, maybe once a month. I don't want to over-meet. But when stuff starts really moving, we may meet sooner than that to keep you guys up to date. If you have any questions on each project, the big books are down there with me, and I can print y'all off copies of those. Now let's go to 4255.
Real quickly, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you said Danny's finished with his, and he doesn't have to worry about any more. I'm not getting his. Now we're just getting the money back.
Now we just got to worry about getting money out.
Right. What about, let's say, precinct 3, Wade? And Wade, real quickly, because you're saying by May 28th, we're not going to get them if we have small projects out there. We're not going to get the money, am I right?
Unless we start.
Right.
Have we
Wait a
started?
minute. I was reading a message from Amy. I just got one, and I was seeing if it. I submitted the reimbursement request for 898 2 weeks ago. Let me check on it, and I will text you back. So we'll see, but at least it's submitted. And Wade, you are through with 4223. The only one you had still open was the mitigation project, and I believe you told me that you probably were not going to do that one.
Correct.
And so you're through with 4223, but you've got a lot on 4255.
Now, do those have to be done by May 28th also?
No.
Okay.
Those are the big projects. We're going to wait. We're going to get an extension.
Okay.
And I'll let you guys know, because there's just no way that precinct 1 and precinct 2, because we did receive the biggest part of the damage. And there's no way you guys can knock those projects out without an extension. But I don't look for us to have a long extension. So you guys want to move on them. I'd say concentrate on 4223, the spring event, because I'm not sure how long an extension they'll give us. So if we'll concentrate on those, and then we'll pick up 4255.
I'm grinding on them now. I'm getting some, on the warm days, I'm getting some oil put in them. On the cold days, we'll just grind them up and lay them back down. But getting them ready to do anyway.
Okay.
So it won't take so long. I go back and just put oil in them and go. But that's what I'm working on.
Now, you said small projects can't get an extension.
No, small projects can't, but the only small project we still have open is Mickey's.
Okay,
Yeah.
Mickey.
And Mickey's got his handled, I think, pretty much.
It's 95, 1195 is small. I'm
Yes.
laying rock today.
Uh-huh,
And I gotta look at the rest of it. So.
okay, yeah.
I just don't want us to lose any money, guys. I mean, I know you're doing your best. I'm just saying, whatever it takes, we need to
Keep
make sure
on,
we don't lose
keep
money.
on.
Well, and I have also, another question that I've asked Amy is I'm trying to get clearance in writing if you wanted to work some overtime, that FEMA would pay for that. But I want it cleared in writing that they would pick it up.
Are we documenting these rain events? Just because it's raining every week.
Yeah. You got another one Wednesday.
I mean, that should be good enough for an extension. This tornado damage that I've got should be good enough for help me with an extension.
We can contact the National Weather Service for that, they can document that, the days we've had rain.
Mm-hmm.
Would you do that
Yes,
for
ma'am, I
me,
would.
since you're hooked up with them, and then just email it to me?
Sure.
Or
You're
email
right.
it to Bryker and she'll get it to me?
And see if it documents a tornadic event in Hopkins County.
Okay.
Because it did, it's showing.
They're supposed to be here today,
Yes,
up
sir.
there,
Yes,
and
sir.
check all of that to see if it was a tornado.
There was a helicopter flying around and it was
Yeah.
a twister of some sort out
Yeah,
there.
it was a
Right.
tornado.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, you guys got any other questions? And I'll follow through on that for you, Nikki, and talk to Amy about it. We moved to 4255, and probably, you know, just to let you guys know, y'all can see the dollar amounts that are still outstanding on your printouts. And in total, for both events, we received a little over $3 million. And probably on one, there's probably still somewhere, without adding it up, I'm gonna say we've still got probably $1.5 million outstanding. And then on two, we've got, on 4255, we probably got a total of somewhere around $1 million still outstanding on it.
So most of it's still out.
So most of it is still out there, and my goodness, we most certainly don't want to lose it. So we're going to stay on top of it. Again, I tried to be pretty self-explanatory with these charts. If you guys have any questions at all, or another column would make it work better for y'all, this is an Excel program. You can stick them in, take them out, do whatever you want, and we'll fix it and get y'all guys more information. Also, on the mitigation grants, they have not, mitigation grants are Wade's and Mickey's, your 3 mitigation grants. We have not heard back. They're supposed to get back to us. Wendy has talked to them. It's just moving slow, and they have not issued them yet. So, but we should be hearing from them.
And as I give you these
anytime.
sites, I might be jumping from one
It won't make any
to another.
difference.
Okay.
Will make no difference at all.
I'm just trying to do what I can do.
And, yeah, we'll get this one processed. This is what, 09 or
What you say?
1173? Okay,
1173.
1173.
Mine is next after 95.
Okay. And, so, any questions?
You and I are both invited this Thursday, May 4th, downtown Sulphur Springs, to give a send-off for the Honor Flight veterans. Here's Linda Hager to explain more.
Yes, it's this Thursday. We're going to send these guys off at 11:45 on the courthouse steps. We're just going to have a little send-off. The program won't last 15, 20 minutes. It's something just to honor these guys that have done so much for our country, and we need to pay them back for their service. They're going to be going to Washington to see the memorials.
See, their memorials.
Their memorials, yes. And we have the Army, Navy, and Air Force in this group that are going. And the Korean, the World War II, and Vietnam War.
Wow.
These veterans that are going this time.
Okay, so 7 in this batch.
7 in this batch,
Okay.
And we had 6 in a batch that went May, and all of our groups that have gone from Sulphur Springs happen to go on the May flight. I mean, it's just no reason, it's just happened that way. But the first flight that went was May of 2009 when Gene Rawson went, and that was the very first trip. And then on trip 19, we had 6 more to go, and they were all World War II veterans.
Okay.
Then on May, on the 24th flight, we had Myron Mitchell to go, and he's with the Army, and he was the World War II. And he didn't get a send-off, so these guys are going to be there Thursday, for us to honor them a little bit too with this group that didn't get a send-off. And then there was a flight May the 6th in 2016, flight number 29, and we had 3 that were on that: Leon Crawford, Warren King, and Maurice Flora, and they were all from the Korean War. And this group that's going on this flight 33, they'll be going Friday and Saturday. Is Bernie Beers, he's Army and with a Korean. Harold Cheatham, Army, Korean. Bob Griffin, Army, World War II. Kenneth Jenkins, Army, Korean. Clayton McGraw, Army, Korean. Miles Robinson, Navy, Korean. And Jerry Voss, Air Force, Vietnam. They're shifting more now to the Vietnam and Korean because they've done most of the World War II that are able to go. And you know, there's volunteers. All of these people are volunteers that do this, and they have a medical team. I mean, a complete doctors and everything that are medical, that are volunteers that go on each flight, and they have all of their medical history to take care of anything. I mean, they can really be wheelchair bound and everything.
And they make it possible for them to see
They make it possible for them to go.
Each person who goes on the flight is assigned a person to go along with them.
Right. They're called their guardian or butler.
Okay.
And they carry their luggage. They push them in a wheelchair. Anything. I mean, they are treated royally. And they want to be treated because this is all about them. I mean, it's all about the veterans, and they just do everything they can possibly do to make them feel like, you know, it's for them.
I think the honor flight is just a wonderful concept, and I'm so glad that we have people to go on them.
And I first said it was 900. Well, my niece corrected me. It's 1,400. With this flight, it's going to be over 1,400. This flight is going to have 42 veterans on it. They can take 50 to 52. So each flight is between, 40-something and the 50 on each flight.
So they're going to leave out of Love Field.
Yes.
Right?
Now, they used to go out of DFW, but this flight is out of Love Field.
And it's very patriotic, too, just the send-off that they get
Oh,
there.
yes, the send-off they get. And they have to be there like early Friday morning. But there's a big send-off, everybody with flags, and just everybody's there to send them off. But then the big send-off, the big thing is when they come in. There's a bunch of people there with waving flags and greeting them to come back. And they're going to be coming back in Love Field approximately 9:50. Their own flight, Southwest Flight 4476. If anybody wants to go over, there'll be a lot of family members. They have a lot of volunteers that just come and greet them, these people. But it's just chill bumps all over when they come in and everybody's greeting all those veterans that get back, because they are so happy and they're waving flags and
it's a whirlwind trip.
It is. I mean, oh my goodness, they're busy the whole time. I mean, it's they've got a lot packed into those 2 days for them to see and them to do.
It mentions in a write-up that I got for information, a strong medical team, all volunteers, travels with each flight, and a sea of blue and red shirts traveling through airports and around D.C., crossing paths with other honor flight groups from other states.
That's right. Each one of the veterans is given a red shirt, and that's not right. They're given a blue shirt. The veterans are given a blue shirt and blue jacket, and the guardians are given a red shirt. Okay. So it's a sea of blue and red.
Well, we can show our appreciation for them, and you've made it very, very easy for us. We just have to go downtown Thursday.
That's right. I just want everybody. I just want a big crowd down there. The Kiwanis Club is putting out flags on the square for us. We have flags to hand out to everybody down there, so everybody will have a flag. And Judge Newsom's going to he's going to have part of the program. And Sydney Hawkins, young lady from high school, is going to be singing the national anthem for us.
World-class voice.
She has a beautiful voice. And so...
well, please come down. So Thursday, About 11:45?
Yes, 11:45, we'll be ready. We're going to have music beforehand, patriotic music beforehand. Gary Spraggins has set up that for the sound, and so, I mean, we want a lot of people down there. It's pretty weather. I've been watching that forecast.
We've got a lovely sunny day planned for Thursday.
Thursday, that's right.
Well, thank you, Linda, for coming in and sharing with us about the honor flight. And it is this weekend, and our send-off is Thursday, May 4th. And when your obligations with that is wrapped up, by no means is Linda ever idle, because you'll have to come back again and tell us about the next thing on your calendar.
I'll be back to tell you about Dairy Festival.
Here's Don Julian with sports.
Lady Cats sophomore track athlete Abby Bayer qualified for the state meet at the regional meet Saturday at UTA Stadium in Arlington. Lady Cats track coach Tristan Abram tells us about all of his Lady Cats at regional.
The regional track meet actually went really well. We took a total of 8 girls, 6 in which competed, but a total of eight young ladies went. On Friday was the finals for the long jump, which Amani Taylor competed in, and Amani did a great job. She didn't jump her best jump of the season, but she did jump well enough to place 6th place in the regional meet, which is really good. I told her, I said, Amani, if you have to view it this way, you point it at the regional meet. You got to point at the regional meet, and that's a big deal in this region, considering a lot of the young ladies that are advancing to state from this region have the ability, or I would suspect, especially after looking at other times and jumps and things like that, are going to win the state meet. So it's a big deal to point in our region. Yes, you don't reach the goal in which you had set in front of yourself, which is to make it to the state meet, but you pointed in the regional meet, and that's something to build on, especially considering Amani is a junior. So she'll be back next year, and I'm really excited to see what could possibly happen next year with her in that event. Sydney Washburn. She ran the 3,200 on Friday morning, and she placed 11th in that event. Again, not a bad job in that event. She ran the exact same time, which is her best time that she's run all year. She ran the exact same time that she ran in the area meet the week before. So, again, great job by a young lady who's a freshman, who I expect to be back in that meet next year. And when she came off the track, she had a great positive attitude. She was smiling. The young lady that actually won the meet or won that event is a junior Olympian, 2-time winner. Her time was actually 10 minutes and 20-something seconds. Some people may not think that's a big deal, but that actually beats a lot of boys in that race. So that young lady is a freshman at McKinney North. So with that being said, Sydney understood what she was going into with that, and it's really fun to see her. It was fun to see her come off the track and be in good spirits, and now she understands, hey, that's the rabbit I'm going to chase, and that's what I'm fixing to work towards. And that was actually her comment whenever she came off the track was I see now who I'm fixing to work to be better than. Which is really good and a great attitude to have. In the prelims on Friday, in the 4x100 meter relay, a track coach as well as a relays coach worst nightmare occurred. We actually dropped the baton. So we did not complete that race, and it was unfortunately those things happen. As I discussed with the young ladies, whenever we settled down a little bit and we talked, I told them, hey, this is one of those things. It's a hiccup that happens in track. This is a hiccup that happens in life. How are you going to respond to this situation is how we have to look at it. And for the most part, they did a good job. They went out in the 4x2 a few hours later and ran the best time that they've run all year, and that actually put us in 9th. As far as overall in the region. We did not get to run again on Saturday because the top 8 times run on Saturday. But we were right there with the other 8 young teams that ran, and we just unfortunately just had the lesser of the times. But I'm really excited and about what those young ladies did. They overcame a really bad situation. I mean, really, if you dropping a stick can be a big deal, and it turns into a big mental issue. But to go back out out and compete and place ninth. And again, this region, I'm not going to complain about that. So I'm really pleased with their effort and their tenacity to go back and get after it and to stay focused on the next race at hand. The prelims as far as the 100-meter hurdles, Abby Bear did run in that. She unfortunately did not advance in that event. There were some young ladies that were just flying. Ran times faster than what I had seen going into the meet. So that unfortunately kept her out of running the finals in the 100-meter hurdles. Nasiah Dugan placed in the prelims. She placed second in her heat. She ran a really good time. Actually ran the fastest time that she's run this season. I believe it was 11:96, which is she had already broke the school record, but she broke that record. So it was really good, and it was really fun to watch her run that race. And then in the 300 hurdle prelims, Abby finished, whenever all that was said and done, she finished going into the finals on Saturday as the 4th seed. There was a young lady from Roy City that actually edged her out in the prelims as far as going in as the 3rd seed, but she went in as the 4th seed going into Saturday into the finals. And then we get to Saturday, whenever some really good magical things happened with Nasiah going in running the 100. She ended up placing 6th in that event in the finals, and the same discussion that I had with Amani, the same discussion that I had with Sydney, I had that same discussion with Nasiah. She ran an unbelievable race. She did not run the time that she ran the day before, but to place 6th in this region, to point in this region is something really good. And with that being said, Nasiah's a junior, so she'll be back next year. Her work ethic and her approach to the track season this year were unbelievable. It was unbelievable, and I have praised her actually all year on that. And just to see the leaps and bounds that she's made this season, I'm really excited about her future in this sport and what she brings to the table with her leadership. I'm really proud of her, and I know some good things are going to come to her with this sport for sure in the future because she works at it. And then we get to the 300 hurdles with Abby, and again going in, she's the 4th seed. And just walking through the race, gun fires off. Going over the first hurdle, she's with everyone. Going over the second flight of hurdles, the young lady that actually won it kind of pulled away. And that young lady was from one of the Mansfield schools. And then, as the race progresses, going over the last 3 flights of hurdles, the young lady from Mansfield is just a little bit in front of everyone, and then it's Abby, it's a young lady from Roy City, and a young lady from Lancaster, and they go over the 3rd flight of hurdles together. I mean, they jump together, they hit the ground together. They get to the 2nd to last flight of hurdles, they jump together, they hit the ground together. Well, unfortunately for the young lady from Lancaster, she stumbled a little bit, which just kind of slowed her down that much. And Abby and the young lady from Roy City kind of pull away. And they go over the last flight of hurdles together. They jump together. They hit the ground together. And it just came out to sheer who wants to win this race at the end. And Abby pulled it out and placed second in the event. Just seeing those 2 young ladies just battle it out, and to see just the gut-wrenching, just the sheer desire to win, to get that spot to go to state. It was a fun race to watch. Abby's time was, just so you know how close it was, Abby's time was a 45.71, and the young lady from Roy City, her time was a 45.78. So that's how close the race was. Now, with that being said, Coach Tyson, who's our hurdles coach, and myself are expecting Abby to medal at the state meet. We're expecting her to actually win it because the young lady from Mansfield, her time was a 45.62. So therefore, we're right there with her. And that's really exciting to know that because with all that being said, after looking at all the other regions, there's I think 2 more girls that are running in the 45s. So it's the race is whoever wants it, and that's really exciting for Abby. That's exciting for Coach Tyson, who's our hurdle coach. That's exciting for me. In 5 years, this is the first time we've taken a young lady to the state meet, and I'm really excited about that. I'm excited about what Abby's going to get to experience, the things that she's going to get to see, and just her representing Sulphur Springs and Austin is something big, because we hadn't had that happen as far as in the girls division since the 90s, I believe. So I'm really excited about what Abby is about to do. I'm excited about what she did accomplish, and this is just the next step for a young lady who's only a sophomore in this event or in this sport. So we're really excited, and I talked to her earlier this morning, and it was actually third period, and I said, so how many congratulations have you got? And she said, Coach, it's only third period, and I'm getting several. I was like, hey, well deserved. You deserve the recognition. You put the work in. So how about let's get some more whenever we come back from state from Austin. So I'm really excited for her, and extremely proud of her. Extremely proud of all the young ladies who went to the meet, who competed in the meet. They all did a great job. They represented Sulphur Springs well, and they have nothing to hold their heads for either. So it was a good weekend. It was a good weekend for Sulphur Springs. It was a good weekend for the Lady Cats. One young lady told me that she was walking by a group of people that were watching an event, and they saw Sulphur Springs on her shirt, and she said that the statement was made, Sulphur Springs, and and that just gave her a little bit more to try to go compete and show, Sulphur Springs is here, and we did do that. So I was really excited about what our young ladies accomplished and the way they represented our town and our school.
When will the state meet be?
The state meet will actually be in 2 weeks. It's Mother's Day weekend. It will be in Austin, and it's I've been to the state meet. Again, I've never had I've been fortunate to take a young lady, but this is going to make it even that much more exciting. It's in an unbelievable venue. It's at the University of Texas. Their track complex. Stands are going to be packed. It's going to be full, and it's a really neat experience. Just to sit there and watch the meet, more or less, to have a young lady that's going to be competing, representing Sulphur Springs, Texas, and Austin in front of thousands of people is going to be really fun. And with that being said, a young lady who has the ability to go win the meet. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting, and I know Abby's excited. I know her mother's excited, and again, well deserved for Abby and the work that she's put in.
The Wildcats baseball team came within 2 outs of winning an undisputed district championship at Hallsville Friday night. The Bobcats scored a tying run in the bottom of the 7th and then won in walk-off fashion with a run in the bottom of the 8th. The Wildcats had to settle for a co-championship. And the Wildcats also lost a seeding game to Hallsville 7-0 Saturday at Mike Carter Stadium in Tyler. The Wildcats will now meet North Forney in bi-district playoff series. Game 1 will be at North Forney Friday at 7 p.m. Game 2 will be at Eagle Stadium in Sulphur Springs Saturday morning at 11:30. Game 3, if necessary, will get underway 30 minutes after the end of Game 2. Wildcat senior soccer player Chris Espinoza was selected as a first-team forward on the Texas Association of Soccer Coaches All-Region team. The high-scoring Espinoza was a 4-year varsity player for the Wildcats. In his last game in a Wildcats uniform, Espinoza scored a pair of second-half goals in the Wildcats' 5-2 bi-district loss to Lovejoy at Princeton. The North Hopkins Panthers baseball team plays Detroit in a bi-district playoff series this weekend. Game 1 will be at Detroit Friday at 4:30 p.m. Game 2 will be at North Hopkins Saturday at 11 a.m. And Game 3, if necessary, will be played 30 minutes after the end of Game 2.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.
Went back up in the sky.